So we want to make sure. Can we grab these chairs at the front down, please? Thank you. Go ahead and put your name on there. Then we're going to break down how to do all of these different processes. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to review rationalizing the denominator. Now, I don't know if you guys remember this. You should have learned this in Algebra 1. So basically the rule is you're not allowed to have a square root or any other kind of root in the denominator. To get rid of it, we just multiply. I really shouldn't have put the equal sign yet. We just multiply the top and the bottom by whatever the denominator was. Now think about it, you guys. What's 5 divided by 5? 1. What's 10 divided by 10?
1.
So when I have square root 2, this is scrap paper, divided by square root 2, that's just a fancy 1, right? So we can multiply by whatever we want as long as the top and bottom are the same, because we're just multiplying by 1 then. What's the square root of 2 times the square root of 2? Well, you could do it like this. You put them both in the square root. The top is going to be 3 square root 2. The 3 is on the outside because it was never on the inside. You guys, if I have 2 2's, what's the square root of 2 times 2? Just 2. Can you guys see how it's basically what we started with? That square root goes away, and whatever was there went up top. Okay, I'm trying to show you. 3 divided by square root 2 is 2.12. You guys follow? And then if we did 3 square root 2, see, that's the same thing? Okay. Now, I do need to show you how to do it when there's 2 terms on top. It's the same thing. You're just going to put parentheses. And then I'm going to square. I'm going to do the same thing top and bottom, whatever the denominator was. So this is just going to be 7 on the base. And this goes to both of these. So it's going to be 5 square root 7. What's 10 times 7?
7.
And that's as good as it gets. It looks funny to me because my 7's not in the middle, but it's the same. It's right. Now, this is what you're going to be using over and over again. I have tried to teach this about 5 different ways, and this is the easiest way to get to the correct answer every time, okay? So this is just a completed square formula. I already wrote the steps out for you, but let's just make sure we know what they are. What's step 1? What's step 1? Uh-huh. I'm gonna zoom in. Okay, what's my A?
R.
Nope. So remember, it's the number in front. What's the number in front of my R squared? What's the number in front of my R? Negative 20. What's my C? 96. Okay. I'm going to pause so you can write that down. Okay. Let's use this formula, okay? Okay, what's my A? 1. What's my B? What's my A? What's my C? What's my B? What's my A? Can you guys see how I just used this formula and plugged in the numbers I have? I'll pause and let you get that written down. Looks like we're ready. All right. I don't need that 1 anymore because 1 times anything is just itself. What's negative 20 divided by 2? Negative 10. And I'm just going to make this negative 96. What's negative 20 squared? What's 20 times 20? 2 times 2 is 4, so that's part of it. What's 10 times 10? So it's going to be 400. Whenever you square something, it will come positive. What is 400 divided by 1? 400 divided by 4? It's not. 100. So this would cancel out and be 100. What's negative 96 and 100 make? Good. Now this is just like solving with the square root. We did that a couple weeks ago. How do I get rid of the square? Square root it. When I add in the square root, what do I need to remember? Plus and minus. Really big deal. So right here I need a plus and a minus. What's the square root of 4, y'all? 2. So I have x minus 10 equals positive 2 and negative 2. How do I get that x by itself? I want x by itself. What do I do?
Add 10 on this side.
Yeah, plus 10. What's 10 plus 2? 12. What's 10 take away 2?
8.
Congratulations. You've solved using completing the square. The hardest part about this is being able to simplify with all these square things going on. When you're ready, go ahead and open your book. Okay, just to keep things easy, I'm going to write the formula right here. Okay, what's my A? What's my B? What's my C? What's distracting / confusing about this equation? What's
Equals 0?
equal 0 is good. It has to equal 0 or it's not in standard form. There is a C. What I think is a little bit distracting is the fact that there's A as our variable. If it's easier, think of them as X's. What's my A?
1.
What's my B?
10.
Negative 10. What's my C? Good. Now we're going to use our equation. Oh, I don't want to write a B, sorry. Let me grab some white out. I gotta write in pen, otherwise it's really hard to read. But that means that when I mess up, I can't undo. Okay, what's my A? What's my A? Good, so I'm gonna put that all the places that A goes. What's my B? Gonna put that in all the places that B goes. I'm doing a really bad job today. Let me just, I mean, that's just like graffiti at this point. So bad. I'm sorry, but I gotta cross that out. I can't live with that. That's confusing to me. Now I can live with that. Okay, and what's our C? 8. So let's take it one step at a time. Do I need that 1 anymore? Do I need the parentheses? You do, because it's still squared, right? So we're going to leave the parentheses alone. Negative 10 divided by 2, what is that?
5.
Yep. Negative 10 squared, what is that?
Negative 20.
Almost. Negative 10 times negative 10? 10 times 10. 100. Okay, what's 100 divided by 4?
25.
Good. What's negative 8 plus 25? Or you can think of it the other way. 25 take away 8. What'd you say? I think you said it right. 25 take away 8? Jose, can you help us out? 25 take away 8? Yep, 17. Now I'm purposely leaving a gap right there. How do I get rid of a square? Square root. If I add in the square root, what do I need to remember? Plus and minus. Does 17 factor? Can I reduce that at all? I can't, so that's just tough luck. It's prime, so it stays. Do I need those parentheses anymore? Does it have a power anymore? Does it have anything being multiplied to the inside? So we don't need those parentheses. How do I get the x by itself? Good. This is the answer. You're done. I just want to make sure that you know that usually they'll write it out on a test. Both of these are fine. I just want you to recognize it no matter what form they put it at. Okay. What makes example 3 different?
Is negative 17.
Get that? 7 on this side, right? Add the 7 to the other side. This side has to be 0 or you don't know what A, B, and C are. What's negative 82 plus 7?
Negative 89.
Nope, they subtract because they're different signs.
75.
Uh-huh. Now that it's equal to 0, I can figure out A, B, and C. What's my A? What's my B? What's my C? Diego, what's my A? It is a 1. Angel, what's my B?
Negative 10.
Good. Jacob, what's my C?
Negative 82.
Nope. Because we had to move the 7 first.
Oh, yeah. Negative 75.
Good. Okay, we're using the same formula. All right, what's my A? Oh, I put an A there, I'm sorry. What's A? We still writing down? Anybody know what A is? Good. What's my B?
Negative 2.
What's my C?
Negative 75.
Okay, I don't need that 1 there anymore because 1 times anything is just itself. Negative 10 divided by 2. Negative 5. And this is the first time you've seen this, where the two negatives cross each other out. That's the first time you've seen that where the C becomes a positive. What's negative 10 squared? 100. What's 100 divided by 4? Good. What's 25 plus 75?
100.
Dramatically pause and let you catch up. How do we get rid of the square? How do we undo a square? How do we undo a square? Square root. When I add the square root, what do I need to remember? Plus and minus. So I'm going to just cross this square out with the square root out. I don't need those parentheses anymore. What's the square root of 100? Nope, that's half of 100.
25.
Nope, we want two numbers that multiply to 100. 10 and 10, they have to be the same number. So when I get to this point, in my brain, I break it into two equations. How do I get x by itself?
Add 5.
What's 10 plus 5? What's negative 10 plus 5?
85.
When you're ready, turn the page. Okay, this one is a pain in the butt. It's easy to set up, but it's hard to make the answer look like what's on the answer choices. So let me show you what to do. First, I'm going to write down what we need to know. What's my A, B, and C?
8.
Good.
16 and negative 7.
Good. Okay, let's set it up. All right, let's plug it in. What's my A? So it's going to go in the front, underneath, underneath. What's my B? Good, it's going to go on top. That's better. And on top. And what's my C? Negative 27. Let's break it down. That 8 is stuck. We can't touch him. He's going to be chilling like a villain for a little bit. Let's reduce inside if we can. What's 2 times 8?
16.
What's a negative times a negative?
Negative.
Oh, sorry, that's supposed to be a plus sign. What's it called when it's not a typo, but it's just your brain having a struggle? What's 16 squared, y'all? Nope, that's the square root. Do you guys know what 4 times 8 is? 36. Actually, sorry, 32, yeah. And then 16 times 16? 256. You guys with me so far? Okay, we're going to give it a second. 256 divided by 32, does that come out nice? I think it does. Comes out as 8. So this whole thing is just 8. What's 16 divided by 16? What's 27 plus 8?
35.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So far, has anything been really hard? Just a lot of steps? Okay. How do I get rid of that 8? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? What's it doing right now? It's multiplying. What's the opposite of multiplying?
Right.
How do I get rid of a square? Square root. What do I need to remember? Plus and minus. Okay, now it's time to buckle up, Buttercup. Tell me when you're ready for me to break it down for you. You are 1 step away from the right answer, and you're 5 or 6 steps away from it looking like the right answer. You ready? You ready? Okay. So whenever I have a fraction, you can break it up. I don't want to forget my plus and minus, but you can break it up individually so that the top is separate from the bottom. Is that okay so far? Okay, I'm going to think of this 8 as 2 times 4. I'm going to think of the 4 as 2 times 2. So these are all my factors. 2 times 2 times 2. I'm going to take this group, kill one, and the other comes outside. So I'm left with 2 square root 2 on the bottom. The 35 I can't do anything with because it's 5 times 7. So far, are you with me? Okay, now comes, remember how we had to rationalize the denominator on the first couple? We were just doing a quick review. We've got to get rid of that square root 2 on the bottom. So I'm going to multiply the bottom by square root 2 and the top by square root 2. So the 2 stays here, and this becomes 2. What's 35 times 2? Just 70. Do we understand how we got here? Do we need to explain where that 2 came from? Yeah, because this is like square root 2 times 2, and since I have 2 of the same, a 2 comes out. This 2 just stayed. So this is this 2, and this is the second 2. What's 2 times 2, y'all? Good. So I'm going to bring this down. We don't have a square, we don't have a root on the bottom, so we don't do anything there. I want that x by itself. What do I need to do? How do I get that 1 moved? Add, subtract, multiply, or divide? Subtract 1. Okay, I have bad news. There's one more step. They want to put these two together. So they're thinking of that -1. They're multiplying it by 4 over 4. You following me? So they get -4 over 4 plus the square root 70 over 4. And they just do -4 plus or minus the square root of 70 all over 4. And that is your final answer. Good news, bad news. Good news is I only put 1 question like that on your assignment. Bad news is they do have questions like that, like on a district DBA or any kind of test like that for the state or for your SAT or anything that's for college related. They'll expect you to be able to do that. I think that's a little extra, but that is it. You guys are good to go. The assignment's already online. If you get done early, go ahead and get caught up on whatever you need. I'm going to come over and help a couple of you guys. Make sure you glue it into your journal. Make sure you're showing your work in your journal. And you guys are good to go. Yes, sir? What do you need?
This one.
Okay. Would you like to borrow this? I'm gonna